He was 4'11", a social worker with no weapons, no army, and no official power to stop what was happening around her. And yet, over the course of just a few years, she helped save roughly 2,500 Jewish children from certain death, smuggled out in ambulances, coffins, potato sacks, and toolboxes, right under the eyes of Nazi soldiers. Her name was Irena Sendler, and for decades, almost nobody knew her story. If true stories like this move you, subscribe. We cover one every week. Let's start at the beginning. Who she was before the war. Irena Sendler was born Irena Krzyżanowska on February 15, 1910, in Otwock, Poland. Her father, a doctor, treated many Jewish patients in the community and died of typhus, contracted from a patient, when Irena was still a child. That early loss shaped her. She grew up believing that helping people wasn't optional. It was simply what you did if you were able to. By the time World War II broke out, Sendler was 29 years old, working as a social worker for the welfare department of the Warsaw municipality. Nothing about her early life suggested she was destined for anything extraordinary. She was, by every account, ordinary, until the world around her stopped being ordinary at all. In 1940, the Nazis forced Warsaw's Jewish population, hundreds of thousands of people, into a walled ghetto roughly a square mile in size. Conditions inside were catastrophic. Nazi rations allowed roughly 200 calories of food per person per day. Starvation was common. Disease, typhus, dysentery, tuberculosis, spread constantly. Sendler used her position with Warsaw's health department to obtain an official pass into the ghetto, under the pretense of inspecting for disease and sanitation. She began making regular visits, sometimes several times a day, smuggling in food, medicine, and vaccines. But watching children starve and die of disease inside those walls, she realized aid alone wouldn't be enough. Some of them needed to get out. The rescue operation. Sendler joined Zgoda, the Polish Council to Aid Jews, and worked alongside roughly 24 colleagues to begin smuggling children out of the ghetto entirely. The methods were desperate and inventive. Children were carried out hidden in caskets and potato sacks. Others were smuggled out through ambulances or underground passages beneath the ghetto walls. Babies were sometimes wrapped and disguised as packages, carried through checkpoints in trams. Older children occasionally slipped out by joining labor crews forced to work outside the ghetto each day. Children were led in through one door of a church that had an entrance inside the ghetto, and led out the opposite door, on the free side of the city, given new Christian identities as they crossed. Once outside, the children were placed with Polish families, in orphanages, and in convents willing to hide them. Sendler, using the underground name Jolanta, coordinated placements with orphanages and religious institutions around Warsaw and near Lublin. Here's the detail that makes this story almost impossible to believe. Sendler refused to let these children simply disappear into new identities forever. She secretly recorded each child's real name and family information in code, sealed the records in jars, and buried them under a neighbor's apple tree, hoping that one day, after the war, families could be reunited. On October 20, 1943, Sendler was arrested by the Nazis. Before she was taken, she managed to hide the coded addresses of the children and large sums of resistance funds so they wouldn't be discovered. In Polack prison, she was tortured, her feet and legs broken in the Nazis' effort to force her to give up names. She was sentenced to death. She never gave up a single name. She was ultimately saved when the Polish underground bribed officials to secure her release in February 1944. Officially, records were falsified to make it appear she had been executed, and she was left permanently disabled from the injuries, but alive. She went into hiding, and continued her resistance work anyway. After the war. When the war ended, Sendler dug up the buried jars and used the coded records to try to reunite the surviving children with any family members who might still be alive. Tragically, many of those children's parents had already been killed in the Holocaust. In 1965, Israel's Yad Vashem honored her with the title Righteous Among the Nations, one of the highest honors given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jewish people during the Holocaust. But for decades afterward, her story remained largely unknown outside a small circle. That changed in 1999, when a group of students at a rural Kansas high school came across a single line in a magazine article stating that Irena Sendler had saved 2,500 children from the Warsaw Ghetto. They assumed it had to be a typo. How could one person possibly have done that? Their research project into her story eventually brought international attention to a woman who, until then, the world had almost entirely forgotten. Sendler never considered herself a hero. When asked to explain why she did what she did, she said simply that her father had taught her. When someone is drowning, you don't ask if they can swim, you just jump in and help. She died in Warsaw on May 12, 2008, at the age of 98. Even near the end of her life, she reportedly felt she hadn't done enough, despite having helped save thousands of children who otherwise had no chance at all. That's the true story of Irena Sendler, an ordinary social worker who, through patience, courage, and quiet defiance, gave thousands of children a future the Nazis tried to erase. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who else's story deserves to be told. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.